Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Laura Canfield Show, the Awaken to Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited. My good friend Laurie Moore is back with us. It's been a while. I think last time you were here, Laurie, was back in February of this year. So it's like feels
Wow,
like
so much has happened and gone by.
right.
Yeah,
It feels like a lifetime ago.
you and your people. Yeah, I love talking to you. You're very authentic and just such a good being. It's such a pleasure, and I love the people who come. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. And
Yeah,
I love talking to you because we always talk about, like, we have a theme, we have a topic, right? But it's going to be really whatever wants to come through based on
exactly. Yes,
conversation and everybody else, right?
yes,
And
exactly.
and what do your cats want to say? They might have some messages too, right?
They do. Yeah,
I'm still trying to get Neo to become more in tune with me so he can be a partner, and I can give messages and say, what is Neo saying? What's he bringing
yeah,
forward? We'll see one
yeah,
day.
yeah. Well, they're Neo and the cats are already connecting energetically, and I will at some point in the show share what they're saying because they're already starting to send the message. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Oh, I love
Should I
that.
just say it
I just
now?
got,
Because they're really vibrating strong right now together.
yeah. And I just got like
Yeah.
goosebumps all over, and oh my goodness.
Okay, good. They're really jonesing to say this. Allow oneself to be eager to jump into something very different now, because everything we've known, and especially light workers, healers, counselors, those who hold space so that energies can come in clear for many, are being dismantled a lot right now, because the space wants to hold itself, and the animals and people can go into just much more fun, playful heaven on earth, and let go of being right, let go of things that worked for the last 10 years impeccably will not work now, and don't make yourself wrong. Let yourself go into joy, peace, chaos, confusion, back into clarity. Don't judge anyone. Don't even assume you know what anyone's doing. Just let it all be and let the space take us all. And they're having a great time and they're staying in clarity. And it's confusing for us as humans, but if we can acquiesce more into that deep compassion for all our complexity and not knowing, and not assuming the clarity stories that have helped us move before really need to be part of it right now, it's fun, it's joyful. The awakening is in playfulness.
Awesome. I
Yeah,
love that. And it's fun and it's playful and it's exciting and it's new. It's like an adventure, right?
adventure is the word. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's how I like to look at life. Life is an adventure, right? And
Yes,
so, it brings new surprises, it brings new twists and turns, and then you go with it, right? You go with it
yes,
in the moment, whatever happens, who knows,
yes.
And
Yeah, and yeah, I'm really getting it right now. Like, let people mess up, let yourself mess up. We're not really messing up, but if I think someone else is messing up or I'm messing up, just let it go. Just keep going back into the expansion coming through, and let everyone do their dance and love them. And don't judge anything. Don't judge anything. Just let it play. Yeah,
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 I love that. And
yeah,
and don't judge anything. That's one of the hardest things for us humans, are us beings in this incarnation to do or not do, is to not judge. It's like we judge
yeah,
constantly, especially ourselves, right? And
yes,
even though I'm always preaching about being an allowance, don't judge, but I judge myself. I
yes.
still judge myself,
Yeah,
every
me
day,
too. Yeah,
or
it's a practice.
question.
It's a practice to acquiesce back to the non-judgment, and um, we we can't do it just like the willpower. The I can't do that so much. So it's more like just give it up to whatever energy or master or teaching, whatever is bigger than you.
Yeah,
Because
surrender
otherwise,
it.
yeah, we're prone to judge constantly. That's
Yeah.
how the brain works in the human. Yeah.
And so I don't judge myself for judging. It's like, it's okay.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like,
that's okay too. Judging is okay too. Yeah, yeah,
just be, but the thing is
yeah.
about being in awareness. It's like, oh yeah, I'm judging. Okay, cool. Good to know, So,
Thank you. Yeah,
right?
awesome. I get it. Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. Just being aware of when you are judging, being aware of how you're being at all times. Oh, as much as you can, right? 24/7
Yes.
is like really
Yes.
hard for us to be
Yes.
aware.
Yes. Yes.
But the more that we can be aware of what are we thinking, what are we feeling, what are we saying, like what energy are we vibrating at, if we can be aware of that more and more, and
Yes.
change it when we don't like it or when it's not empowering for us, right?
Yes.
And change it, but sometimes
Yes.
we forget all of that.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm also really getting right now how when we're judging ourselves or we're judging someone else, it's just really coming from a pain. It's really coming from not feeling loved by ourselves or allowing the love of others or in the moment, and or knowing where it is in the moment. And that's all it is. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It needs compassion. It can have some compassion given its way.
Absolutely.
Energy. Yeah.
Oh, and I love that. The compassion for ourselves, for, our friends, our family, for humanity. If we all had or showed or expressed a little bit more compassion every day, I think that's when we would have the heaven on earth that you talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also, I agree with you. We would have that heaven on earth the more we can remember the compassion. And because we judge, I always have to call in help now because it's too hard for me to stop judging. It just makes me judge more. Mm-hmm. So I just call in some help to, not because I'm wrong for judging, but as a joyful, peaceful opportunity to acquiesce into something that feels so much more spacious, to not know what anyone is up to and just assume they're up to exactly what they're meant to be up to in their dialogue with creation, with creator. Yeah.
But, wow. And just even that thought, is so freeing, right?
Yeah.
And just let them be,
Yeah. But the polarities also come when we attempt anything. That's the interesting thing about being human. The polarities come because I was getting into such a big space of, it was so clear to me how all the judgments had been coming from hurt, and all of a sudden these judgments were gone, and I was seeing everyone as perfect in their relationship to their dialogue with creation. And then it backfired, and I went into like the deepest judgmental paranoia. I said, I don't know what's going on. I feel like a depression I remember when I was 20 years old, decades ago, came in for a few days, and I was making up elaborate stories about what people I love were doing and how they hated me, and they would never talk to me again. And they got really elaborate, and then I was like, this is, and I called some other friends and I said, this person has done this to me, and blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, like, this isn't even what's happening. This is like not true. Like oh, whoops. Okay. Snapped out of it.
But it's funny how we make up these stories, and we live in these stories, right?
Yeah. And I do find they are related to stuff in the cells that's still not cleaned out, because I was like, what is going on? And as I'm preparing to go through the experience of my dad, he will go over to the other side. I don't know if it's in a few months or years, but he's obviously deeply in that process. It's bringing up things that I thought were cleared, I thought were healed. Not so much about him, I feel good with him, but about like lifetimes of stuff. And all the ancestors came in and they're like, you're doing massive planetary clearing. It's not just for yourself. It's like through the ancestor line. It's about relationships. There's a lot of mess with coupleship. I'm like, I feel coupleship has been a mess in my life. And I have written books in the years past, like decades ago, like this expert on TV about relationships, and it all blew up. So I can laugh now. And so, here I am I'm single now for 3.5 years, and I'm doing this deep coupleship. It has nothing to do with anyone specific. I'm finding deeper in the organs, and all the work I've done, there's still stuff lodged in there. It feels very personal, very planetary, very ancestral, and like a lot of people can connect to it. So there I am doing the next round. And as it comes up, sometimes I get confused and start making up elaborate stories. I'm like, wait, I'm just clearing. Just let it go.
Yeah, exactly. Just let it go. And just having that awareness of, what, I'm just clearing. I know I'm just clearing. And this is what I tell my clients too. It's like, as you're clearing, as you're doing the work, as you're integrating all these energies and frequencies, stuff is going to come up. Don't get caught up in the story. Let it go. See it, but let it go, right? But we do get caught. Sometimes we do. It's like, oh, crap. It happens. It's like, oh, well. So I just wanted to tell everybody really quickly that because I just, we just got into the conversation so quickly and so fast. It's like, we're right there, and which I absolutely love. And I want to tell you, if you have a question for Dr. Laurie, you can raise your hand, or you can submit a question in the chat.
Yeah, I would like to share a little about what I do now that I've identified myself as someone who writes about relationships that blow up, because obviously it's politically correct to go and tell all your great credentials and how you do it perfect, but of course almost all my friends are light workers and we're always dealing with like 10 times as much as everyone else. I will just say your spiritual teachers, your healers, whatever you think they are, we're doing the work so deep. That's my experience. And so what I am, I started out as a psychotherapist. Lots of people were healing with me, but I was getting all this telepathic psychic information about human and animals. So I switched to primarily being a reader and coach for people who want something. It doesn't matter if it's your animal or it's your stuff, your prosperity, your wellness. Actually, I've done amazing work helping people with relationships. So I'm just humbled by all my problems, and I assist people. I can go right in, see all the different layers happening with you that you're not seeing leading to the problem, and everything going on with the animal, and just tell you. And from there, we can do energy healing work or coaching. And a lot of people just come to me, and through the dialogue itself, they're like, oh my God, it just got vacuumed out. I'm different. It's shifted. So, yeah. And I'll be honest, I understand why a lot of spiritual teachers and healers and psychics out on the circuit, they're telling you how great they are and their perfect lives. I get it, because if they don't, and that's true, that part is true. I mean, I live an amazingly grace life, but all the shit's happening constantly. It's because I'm doing my work that the grace comes in, and I've always been one to just say it. And I know it pulls some people towards me and repels others. Awesome. But it's the truth, anyone, because people are always projecting onto the healers and the spiritual teachers, and they're usually doing the work like with 10 times more problems than anyone else. This is the way astrology works. If you're going to be a medical doctor, you're going to have some pretty big medical problems. If you're going to be a vet, you're going to deal with it with your animals. It's like, you will be humbled. If you sign up for an incarnation helping others, you're going to be doing a lot of it yourself, because you're going to, once in a while there's an exception, but generally the universe supports people who want to help others and being humbled and compassionate and doing the work themselves. So I just want to blow all the mystique out of our projections, because it's okay. It can be helpful to project onto people, the spiritual teachers and the healers, false protection and get disillusioned. That is a learning path. But if you just take responsibility for yourself, let them be them, and let them help you with their gifts that they came to help you, probably you get more out of it. But it's okay to go disillusioning yourself. I've done it too. I wanted to think people were perfect so that I didn't have to, I don't know, it's like, there's Santa Claus. If they can do it or something, I can do it. And it's okay.
Well, just as you were saying that, it brought tears to my eyes, because it's like, it's so true, and people don't get it. I mean, like, I've been through so much stuff emotionally myself. Luckily I haven't had any physical things really, bad, but I do, but still mostly the emotional, the mental, all that stuff, and it's like, and you judge yourself. It's like, I'm supposed to be a leader. I'm supposed to be a healer. I'm supposed to be this. I'm supposed to be that. Why am I going through this stuff, And the thing is, it's like, I realized too, a while ago, that I'm not just clearing for myself. The work that I'm doing every day is not just for me, but it's for the collective. It's for my clients. It's for my family. And it's like, oh my God, and they don't even know, right?
Yes.
They don't even know that, that I'm doing all this. And I didn't even know that I was doing it.
Yes, exactly. Right. We don't know for a long time. And they have their roles too. Like in my family, I consider my parents light workers, and yet they would never speak any of this language, but they would do it through more mainstream activities, but they held a much more practical mainstream ground, so I could be so wild. And I feel it worked as a unit. Also, I want to say that all the stuff that we do, it works. Like, so I'm helping a lot of people. I've helped a lot of people with prosperity, and I went through hell, and now now I'm so good with money. I was so bad at business and money, and I crashed like so bad, and I was in horrible troubles. These are years ago. Out of that, I learned so much, and so I'm very prosperous. I'm very abundant financially. I was with not the money part before, but now I can help others. I went through from being a healthy person my whole life to crashing, almost dying. Every organ was shutting down. It's a miracle that I'm alive, healing myself intricately, reincarnating, resurrecting myself. I'm so healthy now. And so I help people with that. And the relationships, I've just gone through a whole lot, and I've chosen that I'm going to be in a solitude time for a good, nice cave of 3.5 years, and I'm just coming out of that now, ready, opening my heart that I can couple again in a whole new level and way with opening my heart to meet a person with whom I would couple. I'm not there yet, just getting there in a whole new way for the next level of learning, sharing, expansion. So everything's always a work in progress for everyone. We want to think, oh, you're there, but you are there. Like now I know so much about wellness that should I ever have another fall down, I have a whole much different way I will quickly approach it. In fact, any kind of health issue that comes a little bit now, I'm on it in a very deep way, every level, emotional, spiritual, mental. So much faster than those years where I was in arduous boot camp. I feel my soul chose that. Same with money now. If there's a little dip, I know internally where to expand, where to shift, what to do. And I just try to stay humble and say, and I know nothing, and anything can change at any time, and it's a much deeper power I'm in reverence to than my own will. Yeah.
Exactly. And sometimes our own will gets in our way, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, our own way of thinking, our own way of being, all those shoulda, woulda, couldas get in our way of actually being and being in the moment and asking questions like Christina is saying, what are you showing me now? What am I not supposed to learn per se, but, you know, what is the next thing to learn, right?
Yes. Yes.
Sorry, Christina, I just had to say, you know, there's no supposed tos.
Yeah, perfect. And yeah, and so if we just go back, I'm going to just invite people through this transmission to breathe back into yourself, letting the earth of life go through your body, almost like water, but earth, grounding you in your temple space, letting the air that constantly cleanses go up and out, assisting your shift, letting the water cleanse through you. You don't have to do anything but listen. I'm working the energy and you just receive. And then just refocusing into your focal point, which for many is the heart. For some, they say it's their belly or their third eye. I always feel it's kind of everything, but the heart's the steering wheel. And just go deeper than anything anyone or yourself left, deeper than any thoughts, any fabric, any flavor, any emotion, any physical sensation, just deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the neutrality. And there you start fresh, and that's what we're doing now. We're starting fresh, so the universe's impetus redirects you in this moment, reshifts you, changes your cells. Give permission. I'm feeling, you're going to feel a tingly rainwater come in. It's going to cleanse out cells, molecules, infinite divisions of cells and molecules into tinier and tinier and tinier forms where old patterns still lurk. You're like, I healed this. How did this come up again? Let that be rinsed and scrubbed. That's what this transmission is. There you go. Yeah, it can feel uncomfortable when you're scrubbing out something. Just let it go. You don't need it. Letting go of something, you're like, I need it. You don't need it. Let it go. Clear water feels so good. Somebody's having an organ issue, so we're just asking that soothingness comes. Their organs are resistant to healing. So we're asking that all the disappointments, disillusions, and betrayals that's caused this organ someone's experiencing on this call, there you go. Okay, they got it. Yes, letting go of that. We're letting all that old stuff go that made the organ confused. Put your feet on the floor. Again, feel the earth in all of you, the water, the air, everything, the fire. There you go. Good. Okay, this is a new neutral place. We should probably do a few of these throughout the call, and each time you'll feel catapulted. If there's residue, give permission that it keeps rinsing or evaporating or burning in a nice, good feeling way out. Now you go to your center and you just start fresh. You don't need to even answer a question. You'll respond to the moment. But if you feel for safety, for comfort, you need some words, ask that the universe give you the words, or ask us and we'll give you the words. So there you go. Yeah. Shifting everyone. Yay.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still feeling it. So I'm, I love it because I love being able to feel stuff when I'm working with somebody else.
Yes.
It's just,
yes. And please put your feet on the ground because someone's feeling disrupted now. So let the energy go down into the ground, up into the sky. Let me just get this person more centered so they feel more comfortable. Yeah, just let it keep going. It's just trying to recalibrate you, and you're having a memory of something. It might be coming up in your throat and other places right here. It's a memory. Just let it go. That's not who you are now. Just there you go. Yes, there you got it. Just give permission for it to keep burning itself down to the final embers. And you'll feel a space of clearing very soon during this call, probably in the next few minutes, if not hour.
oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Still yawning.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. And the grounding and the connecting is so important, right?
Yes.
The connecting to yourself.
Yes.
Is so important, right? Not, I mean, yes, we need to connect into Mother Earth, but connecting to within us is also even more so, right? So
yeah.
I wanted to talk a little bit about, bringing, heaven on earth, right? And then at the same time, really understanding or getting what that's like and being able to stay in it. I feel that sometimes when we're in the process of bringing heaven on earth, or what we consider it to be, we suddenly get thwarted. Like we start feeling like crap, or stuff happens, or
yeah, the planet's a joker of polarities. It really is. And as soon as we set an intention, whatever is not clean in the field to support that intention from the most organic place of light will show up. And there's several options. If we choose to work with it to allow it to heal, we expand. If we press it down, we create physical illness, emotional illness, and ultimately, usually addiction. So there's no judgment on any of this. We don't know why when people pick the non-happy road, it's not everyone's done that. It's just like so embedded in the planet, and you need help. It's because you're not knowing how to help yourself, and you're not knowing where to get the best help. So pray for help. But the other option is, as the stuff comes that you don't prefer, a contrast. Is there something in me I can release that needs to be cleansed? And sometimes it's like, I just need to say no and go right instead of left. But often there's something kind of getting rattled in you. Give permission for it to be cleansed.
And that's the thing. We don't give it permission. Instead, we go into the story and to the reaction, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And so then we can just catch ourselves and make like our beloved feline and canine family members were saying at the beginning of the call. Just notice and be playful. Oh, I did that. Okay, awesome. Now I'd like to do something different. Now I'm going to give permission. Oh, I don't know how to release this or heal this. Okay, I'll give permission to whatever I want to call it, the higher power, the universe, any of the deities, any of the gods, any of the masters from any tradition, whatever speaks to your heart at that time in your life. It might change throughout your life. Give permission that it be taken from you. And if that's not possible, that you be guided to the right helper, the right healer, the right book, the right workshop, the right life experience that takes it out of you in a loving way.
Yes, loving and ease-filled way.
Yes, yes.
I want to point that out because it's like sometimes, yes, it'll be released or cleared or whatever, but may not always feel good. And I just want to mention really quickly too that when we are calling on our masters, our guides, beings of light, source, God, it's not like we're giving away our power. We're asking for support.
Yeah, there's a place where we're all the same. We're all the same consciousness, but different beings in duality throughout history have evolved in beautiful ways. So just like people would call on me to talk to their animals or aspects of themselves, and people will call on you for everything you offer for their shifting, changing, you're just calling for help when you call whoever you call. You're not giving your power. You're not like, okay, I'm giving you my energy core. You're here, they're there, but that connecting vibration assists everything. It assists you both. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. And so, I also wanted to talk about really quickly, sometimes, we get distracted a lot in life, right? We get distracted from being who we truly want to be, who we're truly expressing ourselves to be all the time, but we get distracted by drama. We get distracted by even some of the stuff that's happening in the spiritual new age movement, right? Shiny ball syndrome. Right? It happens.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Yeah.
So can you talk about that? Because sometimes it is hard for people to stay centered, stay focused, like stay on the path. I've gotten taken off the path many times, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. So we need our places, our rituals that work for us. We need rituals that bring us back. Like every morning, the cats and I, we go on this long, long walk in a huge, giant circle, and we set our intentions, and we do our gratitudes, and then we're just being all of those intention, gratitude, being. So if you can find your places, whether it's by yourself, maybe it's in your car on your lunch break from work. Maybe you create a beautiful sacred place in your home or your entire home. Maybe you need to go to the group. Sometimes you need the group, sometimes you need the one-on-one help, and sometimes you need the solitude. Sometimes you need the family. But you have to have rituals in each that take you back to the neutral, back to the intention, the gratitude, deeper than all that chaos stuff.
Yeah.
And that takes you back over and over, and it builds a reservoir over time.
Yeah, absolutely. You do have to have a ritual. You do have to have some sort of ceremony, practice that you have on a daily basis. Because otherwise, you are going to get distracted. You are going to get taken off center. You are going to get, taken off your path a little bit.
Yeah, and I remember one of my mentors, Gangaji, always said, it's like you need the solitude, you need the group, and you need the one-on-one. It's just like what proportions you need them in and when. It's always changing.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Thank you. And so there was a question in the chat from Linda. I think Linda's still there. Linda was asking, could you please tell me how to better connect with animals? I do have good relationships with dogs, horses, and kitties, but how do we hear them?
Okay, so you always go from gratitude, because animals' intellect is in reverence to the heart. And so in order to really dialogue with an animal, you have to be in gratitude. And then the second thing is, when you're vibrating in gratitude, open your heart and ask them open-mindedly, is there something you wish to share? Don't impose what you think you want them to share, or the box in which you want them to share it, because they don't live in your box. So you open yourself up, and then it can come in a multitude of ways depending on the specific animal. So you might get visions, you might hear words, you might see lights, you might experience sounds, you might feel physical sensations, emotional sensations, unconditional awakening sensations. You might feel a combination of all of that. You might feel one of it, but you'll know you're starting to resonate with the animals world when it comes in a bit differently than your world that you're constantly rotating in. You might see some visions that are different than yours, or hear some words you don't frequently use, or suddenly feel something in your body or in your emotions that's a different flavor than yourself. Again, it could be lights or sounds and unconditional awakening feelings, but that's it. It's that simple. It's not like when you want to learn Japanese or Swiss or whatever, and you have to memorize all these new words. It's simply going back in the heart to gratitude, opening yourself to whatever the animal wants to share and opening up all those receptors and practice and practice. And at some point it's like, bingo, you get it. And all my students, when I work with the one-on-one tutorial, when I mentor people, at some point there's like this click, and then they finally get it. And then they're open to the whole world of animals once that click. So sometimes you practice and practice and practice, and you're like, oh, and then one day all that practice just like bams it open. And other people, it's really simple. Other people have said, when I sit with them, because I just feel the energy, because I live in it, it just opens it up for them right away. And then they'll keep coming because they'll say, but then when you're not there, I can't feel it. But that's temporary. Eventually they'll open their own door. Mm-hmm. So it's different for everyone how it occurs, but I believe everyone can get to that opening.
And I love that how you made it seem how it is so simple. You just open up your heart space, be in that state of gratitude, and ask them, what do you want to share with me?
Yes.
It's that simple. And then be open to receiving.
Yes.
Right? Without an agenda, without,
yes.
Trying to control anything or have it be a certain way. Just be open.
Yes. And it's not that like emotional, physical heart, because I know in some psychology circles, because I'm a doctor of psychology, people are like really, like they're kind of entrenched in like the physical emotions. And it's like, that's just one aspect of life that has to pass through like the weather. The animals aren't entrenched. They feel the emotions. Like Buddha, the emotions are coming through. Everything's coming through us. But it's not about hanging on to that. That's like a little thumbnail of the sketch. It's really the universal heart and letting all that stuff pass through it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's something you have to feel somatically beyond the physical sensations, the light sensations. But when you click into it, that's where it is.
And so you also said practice, practice, practice.
Yeah. Yeah. And if people would do a session with me, and I do lots of sessions translating for animals and translating all the layers of yourself for yourself, but also I do tutorial sessions where I teach you this. And we will be offering a special today, so you can do those sessions at a very reduced rate. And if you can't just do it, like anytime I can't do something, I look for help. Like I just look for who knows how to do that will help me. So yeah.
And sometimes it's a minor little thing, that'll make the shift. It doesn't always have to be complicated.
It can be very simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, very simple.
Linda's asking, do you also connect with those animals who have died?
All the time. I get people calling me from all over the world to talk to either their animals who have died, their animals who are preparing to die, or their animals who are in the transition of dying. And I talk to people all over the world with animals that are happily, healthy, living, all of it, constantly. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Linda. And so one of the things that you mentioned early on, what was it? It was something to do with prosperity and how you go in and you just know what to open up.
Yes, but see, for me, it was a really big learning, and the animals helped me, because even though I understood abundance with the universe, I didn't understand money. And I was a businesswoman because I got out of school as a therapist, and before that in the arts I was a businesswoman, but I didn't have a clue. I didn't know what business was. I didn't understand money. I did not come to this planet. I didn't understand what money is, why we were using it. It made no sense to me. And so everything became a big mess. And I was running this huge organization. We were putting on seminars all over the place. We had a beautiful staff. And I didn't have a clue how money worked. I just didn't. And so I had to really crash bad to get humble enough to be like, I got to learn how money works. I just got to learn. And so, for those of you who understand money, it's so simple, but I wasn't one of those. So now it's so simple. How money works is it works like everything else. That's what I found out. It wasn't any different. But to me, it was this authority kind of thing. It was some male, masculine, authority thing that I didn't get. And it's in a circle. It's abundance. It grows upon itself. And when you're giving it out and willing to receive it back more, it's like breath. It just keeps growing. And if you can look at that within your systems energetically where there's blockage, and that's what I help people do, and we take away the blockage and we shift it, and we give you a new thought to replace whatever is creating what's not working for you. Some people, money's working great, but they know it could be working a lot better. Same thing. It's just like talking to animals. It's gratitude. It's going into the universal flow. It's being humble enough to look at everything inside you that's not in harmony with your deepest self and clean that and clear that, and setting your intentions in new ways so money can just be part of the flow like the water of your body.
Mm-hmm.
It took me 7 years because I turned 50. I freaked out. I didn't have retirement. I didn't own a house. I didn't have savings. I'm like, what the hell have I, excuse my language, what have I been doing all these? Well, I was in deep service. I mean, there's, tons of people's lives changed. So I know I didn't waste my life, but I'm like, this is not going to work. What am I going to do in 20 years if this keeps up? And so I just got really to it. I focused only on money. And now I have the same kind of business I always had, but it's extremely lucrative and it works. And I can do whatever I want financially and I don't have to worry anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I love helping. I love helping light workers with that stuff.
Awesome. Thank you. And and that's the thing. A lot of times, it is the money piece that gets in people's way, right? And a lot of that has to do with beliefs, right? And what are your beliefs? And so does your body, and maybe we can relate this to the money part. Does your body hold beliefs that your heart and soul do not? Because your heart and soul, they're not going to have any beliefs around money, are they?
Exactly. Yeah. And I think my main learning, the core learning that shifted when I started studying the money and, creating the financial prosperity is, it's really not about me. It's like, I just gave it all over to something way bigger, the light. And the light's like, this is great. Let the money flow through while you're incarnate. Let the light handle it. Do the tools. There's lots of tools you can do that you need to do, but don't make it about yourself. Nothing's really about yourself. We want to take care of ourselves. We want to honor ourselves. We want to love ourselves. But kind of like while we're here, it's about something way, way beyond ourselves. Mm-hmm. And money's just a color in the universe. And I always, I'm like so thankful. Like I know anything can change at any time. I don't attribute this grace to my will anymore. I mean, I think life is kind of grace, and the more I've allowed that, the easier everything mm-hmm. has become. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. The more that we allow grace in, light in, be with it, and be more of, in our heart and soul than in our mind. But we have to be in our body, like our bodies yes. are here, physically yes. present. It has a role,
yes.
Co-creating with us, right? And so we have to honor the body as well.
Yes.
So it's like yes. it's like a 3-pronged process. The body, the heart, and the soul together create your life, right?
Yes, absolutely, yes, yeah.
And together we're creating our heaven on earth, or whatever it is that we desire. But sometimes one of those is not in balance. The only thing that can be not in balance is the body, because the heart and the soul are going to, I don't know, maybe the heart, but could be out of balance, but the soul is always in balance, right?
Yes. Yes, I agree completely. Yeah. And it's always a lifelong learning. I mean, I'm in deep learning right now with the same issue I thought I mastered 480 times. I'm just going for around 481, and I'm sure there are thousands of times I thought I mastered it another lifetime. So here I go again.
Yeah, and how much fun can we have with it this time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, we make things so significant, right? When you look at it, it's like, I've been told, and I feel I'm older than dirt. I've had many thousands of lives, so it's like I've done everything. So it's like, how can what is happening here be so significant? I've been there, done that, everything. So this is like a little blip, So it's like, all right, let's take this a little bit more lightly, because it's not that big a deal. Right?
Yes.
So I always say, okay, in the grand scheme of things, in my grand scheme of things, is all life, not just this lifetime, but all life. In the grand scheme of things, how important is this really? Right?
Yes. Yes. Thank you. in our emotional, physical bodies, it can feel quite important since
Yeah.
they are programmed like that. And then because you're so universal and you've had so many lifetimes, you can remind yourself to acquiesce back into your more universal and embrace your body and mind from that. When the body and mind is reporting like this is like the most significant thing happening, which the body and mind does a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you do that, though, it kind of takes away that charge, right? And that reaction energy, and it brings you back into a space of equanimity, a space of silence, a space of peace. So then you can really function and take the next step with more ease, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
That's my understanding, anyways.
And also remember when we sign up for something that looks like, oh, I can do that one. And then you get here on Earth and the biofeedback is so intense. Like I stay in touch with people when they pass over, and I talk to a lot of animals and people who pass over. And it's just very different there. There's not this intensity, and intensity of physical, emotional feeling. It's a different quality.
Mm-hmm.
So it can feel extremely intense here. It really can. Yeah. And so
but it doesn't have to be. That's also part
no,
of the
no. It can go right
consciousness.
back to lightness too. Very light. Yeah.
And that's the
Absolutely.
thing. It's like that
In a
drama.
second. Yeah.
I was going to say that drama and trauma. That's just a program that's been played in the collective that we're all used to, that we've all been entrained to. But we don't have to choose that anymore.
No, we don't have to choose it. And as you're saying, when we go back into the neutral, the universal, let's do that right now. Then the body and mind acquiesce into it instead of vice versa. When it's vice versa, then we empower the drama.
Right.
So let's just take a moment to breathe into the universal. So the universal goes deep inside. It's like the light through everything. And if your mind or your willpower is wondering how, just allow yourself to receive the transmission as you breathe, as the lightness comes in, as your feet are on the earth, as though energy is pouring from the heavens, which really are inside you, which really are all around you forever, through you, and your cells, your organs, your being. There we go. The body is acquiescing into the light body. And then we are natural creators in the moment. Then, like the animals, it is blissful and joyful. It's not arduous anymore. It's simple. It's light. It's just levity. So allow yourself, not knowing how, because it's not a here to there. It's just is. It's basking back into what is. There you go. To feel into the lightness. To re-rest into the lightness. Let go of any places that want to hang on to the story, the drama, the intensity, and let the lightness gather you, which is really you gathering you, which is the masters gathering you, which is the universe gathering you. And then we'll just take a moment of silence so you can slip deeper and deeper into that. And feel the sweetness of that, the beautiful spaciousness. In any places that have confusion or wanting to hang on to a philosophy, a teaching, a teacher, instead of utilize that as a helpful practice, let that go. That kind of stops you. You can still do all your practices, go to your teachers, read your scriptures, perfect, but let go of whatever is giving too much power to that as opposed to the whole universe. Those are your helpers. Drop in. If a worry or anything comes, just let that go. There we go. That's just the weather too. Keep breathing in and you'll keep expanding, you'll keep settling. And for some people, one place in the body keeps coming up. It's different for each one. Yes, it's very different for each one. Breathe into that for a moment. And even if it feels scary or heavy or upsetting, notice the lightness that's taking over and let that be taken. You can't force it, just give permission, and a gentle vacuuming or shifting can occur. Yeah, keep allowing it. It's scary sometimes to let go of what you thought was the basis, which is really not, it's nothing. You're letting go of nothing, but it had seemed significant, like we were saying. So breathe and just let it come up and move out. There we go. Give permission for everything inside you to become its lightness again. Release any other propaganda or any other stories we've told. Go deeper inside. So everything just, there we go. And naturally acquiesce. There we go. Many, many multitudes away from fourth dimension. Everything acquiesces and is right here into its universal self. There we go. Yeah. Let the process keep happening as we dialogue more. You can open your eyes now, but just give permission the process keep happening in a gentle, soothing way, that you acquiesce back and back into the expanded light, all of you. Beautiful.
I don't want to open my eyes.
It seems like you've gone through lots of changes yourself since we last talked. I mean, you're always this, extremely light-filled, cleansed, clean being, but it's like now you went into even more subtle refinements that are so powerful, like a flower. It's really beautiful. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. That was so beautiful. It was like, oh my goodness. I have to listen to that again, because it's like, it was just, it was hard to come back. I didn't want to come back. Like, I don't want to come back. I don't want to have a dialogue. I just want to stay here. Laurie, keep talking. Keep just be here.
Yeah, people who felt like that should sign up for this special session, because then I can take you through it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or listen to this again too. Yes, listen to it. It can be used over and over. I think I'll listen to it, because it's not really me. It's like I'm just speaking on behalf of what's available to come through because of the vessel of the group. So that's like all of our creation together.
Yeah. What I got this aha for myself. It was like, when I'm in that zone, when I'm in the space of channeling and so on, there are certain things that I experience or feel, but it's like I can let that go and not feel that and still be there. I don't have to feel that to know that I'm still there or go even deeper. It was just like, it was like, it was such an opening for me,
Good.
So
beautiful.
I wanted to share that.
That
was oh my goodness. I feel so good. It's like, can we just talk like this every day, just a little bit every day, 10 minutes, 15 minutes every day? This would be awesome.
Yeah, but we can, right? You and me should just call each other and do that, like a 10-minute check-in more often, because that's all that, how I found I recalibrate the most, and I recommend this to everyone. Just know people that resonate with you, that you're both uplifting each other, and do little check-in calls throughout, your month or your week, because that retunes you. You can't do it alone.
Yeah.
And before we did this show, I called a really good friend of mine, because I needed to do that, because when I was in my own little solitude making up drama for 3 days and my head was spinning and I was telling people all this shit was happening, and I'm like, I gotta call someone who can like vibrate in another place with me. And because I gave a concert and all these people came up to me and were telling me all this stuff, and by the end I'm not myself, and now it's been a few days. I'm like doused with all this stuff. I should have ran out, but I made a mistake. But then I called Then I called, a friend, and I'm like, oh yeah, we just acquiesce back into it. Then I get with you all, and we acquiesce back into it. You need that. You need to know who your reference points are, that you help uplift each other.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. And Linda says, I was on the edge of a vision, and then you brought us back. It's okay. You can go back and do the process again, Linda, and maybe get a different vision. Who knows?
It's up to you. Like I can do a longer one now, or maybe people should just think about setting up a session with me with the special, so that they can do their own individual. But I'm open, whatever.
I mean, we did 2 processes so far today, and they were both powerful. They were both like, I enjoyed the first one, but the second one was like, such a
release. We went to a whole new place.
It was lovely. It was awesome. So I just wanted to ask again really quickly if anybody had any questions for Dr. Laurie about anything that may be coming up for you. It's like, even though like during this call, we've been saying that as stuff is coming up, let it go. But is there anything that you need support with? Right. So I know, Christina, that you were going through a difficult time when you were during the call. Is there something that Dr. Laurie can help you with? If you, feel like asking.
Yeah, because I'm happy to help.
Well, when you were saying that somebody was stuck with an organ that wasn't responding, I think that was me.
I think that was you too. Yeah.
It's been really intense feelings that are trapped around like my gallbladder area, and having to do. I mean, I don't know. The mind wants to put it to something, but really, you just, that's just you trying to make sense logically out of a process, I guess.
Yeah, in your case, which everyone's case is unique, but in your case, you spotted it bingo. It really has to be done completely vibrational. You've had enough stories about it already.
Yeah, way too many.
There's nothing more to say. It just needs to keep releasing and bask in new energies. So you need support with that, like places, situations, healings, where whoever's assisting you, and I'm happy to, and you probably know others too, align with that, so you can be in silence and it can just be, it wants to transform now. It doesn't want any more input. It just wants the energy to transform. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Christina. And sometimes, that's all we need to hear is that, it doesn't want any more stories. There's no more stories. Yeah. It just wants to be released now. It just wants to be cleared, right?
Yeah.
It wants to be in a different state,
Yeah. Yes.
And when you know that, it kind of takes you, it gets you to step back a little bit and say, okay, you know what, you're right. I'm done with the stories. I've played the stories over and over again so many times. Like, I'm done. It's not changing. The stories are not helping it to change, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what else is possible? Sorry,
I just wanted to say one more thing, that movement seems to be a big part of letting this go too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I found myself moving a lot and
Beautiful.
even shaking my leg. So
good. Perfect.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Christina. Yeah, and that's the thing. Sometimes I have found that when I'm doing my processes in my group, I find like I'm moving, right? And so it's the energy is being more, not just sitting, not just me channeling it in, but it wants to do its own thing to help with, with the group or whoever I'm working with. And so movement, I'm glad you mentioned that, Christina. So it is about, maybe do a like a walking meditation, like as you're meditating, walk or whatever, ground into the earth and walk or whatever. But yeah, let's take a look really quickly at Dr. Laurie's special offer. So for those of you who are on the live page, you can just click on special offer. Those of you who are not, you can go to alara.at/show/Laurie10. And I'm going to share the screen, I hope. I'm going to try to share the screen. Nope, not yet. 1 second. I always do this wrong for some reason. 1 second. We're going to share the screen now. It's so much easier that way we can all see it. All right, here we go. So this is it's basically the same offer that we had in February. It's a personal one-on-one session, 15-minute session with Dr. Laurie to talk about whatever's going on, whether it is around prosperity, money, your work, your calling, something to do with your animals or getting messages from your animals, messages from loved ones, and so on. So Dr. Laurie, you can talk about
yes,
sessions.
This is a 50-minute personal session, and like I said, you have your option. You can do it. It can be a healing, it can be a shifting, or it can just be getting clear, or it can be a tutorial about learning to talk with animals. It's your time. I do all of that. I do work with spiritual entrepreneurs who are shifting in prosperity, and everyone else who is. I work with people who are stuck on some health issue. I don't do medical diagnosis, but I do vibrational help with that. So any of it and the above, and my rates are actually up to, my 50-minute is $349, so it's a nice deal because you're paying $197.
Yeah.
And it's effective. If you go to my website, you'll actually, annamiracles.com, you'll see hundreds of testimonials. And then annamiracles.com/new, the new one, it's phone compatible. We put a bunch of testimonials up there too. So people really do shift with me. But what's nice about the way I do it is they usually feel a lightness. They feel good. It's about feeling good, changing and feeling good. Sometimes the resistance comes up, I name it, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, feeling good again. So yeah, there's a bunch of quotes.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
really, I focus on you and what you need. And people are like, well, can I call and do a little bit of animal and a little of myself? Sure, it's your time. I'm there for you.
Yeah. So here's Neo. I put Neo's picture here when I was talking about the animals, that's his latest picture from the other day, last week, a couple of weeks ago. But that's the thing. There's a lot that you can do in 50 minutes. There's
a lot, because I work very fast and see people. Sometimes they go to all these different specialists, which is great, but I have all of it. I'm like a doctor in psychology, expressive art psychology, certified hypnotherapist, EMDR, EFT, reader, coach, all of it. So it's like I take everything, condense it, so you get to change. Yeah,
exactly. And that's what it's about. It's not about you just feeling good in the moment,
No, it's a change for your life. Yeah. And for some people, you're like, wow, I want to do this every week for a while and just change and change and change. And other people, it's like, I just need to change this one thing. Let me call you. Please handle it. And then for others, it's like, what does my animal need? I love talking to animals. What is my animal desire? It's all about the animal. So
yeah,
all available. Yeah,
exactly. So it's your choice, right? So what do you require, right? And so tap into you. Check out the special offer page that's available at alara.at/show/Laurie10. Check in with yourself, see what it is that you require, and then book a session. And, as we've seen, like Laurie is one of the people that, we like to have conversations, off when we're not live. So we like to have personal conversations, and they're wonderful because, we both come in with different insights, different, points of view, and we get so much clarity just from talking to each other. And that space of unconditional love, the space of just us allowing ourselves to be without any judgment, just total compassion. And that's how Dr. Laurie is in all of her sessions. I don't think she changes, from.
No. What you get is on the air or in person or in a session. It's all the same. I'm just me. Exactly. But on your session, I'm focusing on you. The one difference is it's all about you. Like I'm kind of speaking to the group, sharing about myself. But when I'm with you on the phone or the video phone, it's about you.
Yeah, exactly. So, so I know that Linda wants to do a longer piece, but I know that we were also going to check in with the cat and the puppy and see what their message was.
Yes. Okay. Let's see if they want to. They're still focusing on the play. It's same thing. They're just like, make it simple, expand through playing. Like what you were saying, how we've invented this whole thing about its drama and it could be intense and like, they're saying it. Like what you were saying, it doesn't have to be. You can go right to light, levity, play, and everything. The same things happen, just much faster and much more immediately. The healing happens, the awakening happens, but it's just what is. Now, here's a key that I think, and this is, by the way, this is why I'm doing the Maria group for 6 here in February, and we do have 2 openings, by the way. And I feel that the way we've been taught to communicate interrupts it. And that's why when I talk to you or some of my other lightworker friends, it flows much better, because what we're doing is we're more like in a universal place, witnessing each other and receiving the gift of that. But in society, I noticed a lot of times communication is like fixing people, comparing, and that's not bad, but it's so heavy and it disrupts the awakening. So like when you're communicating, just being in the universal and experiencing what someone comes to share with you as a gift and holding yourself like that, it's just all passing through like the weather. And so the same process happens like if you're in the ashram or the temple or wherever, the church, whatever, meditating, the mosque, whatever it is for you. The same thing happens just in daily life, but we just don't know how to do that. So the animals are showing us how you do that is you play. Just don't make anything mean anything. It's just expression. It doesn't mean anything. We don't need to agree or disagree. We don't need to evaluate. Just play with it all. And then we love each other naturally. And then we're not scared of each other and creating dramas about each other, going to therapy about each other. We're just kind of like sharing and awakening and healing all at once. Yeah.
And that's what we're doing all the time. We're sharing ourselves with each other, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And so if you take a look at it that way, what are you sharing? Are you sharing your love? Are you sharing your kindness? Or are you sharing your judgment? What are you sharing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's something for us to, you know, take a look at for ourselves when we are sharing. It's like, what am I sharing right now? It's like, ooh. I may not always want to look at that, you know, but it's like, okay.
It rubs off on people, because when I was in those 3 days I mentioned, I was talking to someone and I'm like, blah, 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 and they're like, oh my God. You know, well, that means this and that and this and that. And I'm like, what did we just do? You know, no, actually, let's just drop it all and just like,
cancel, delete, it doesn't mean anything. Yeah, cancel. Yeah, exactly. It's like, no. And that's the thing. It's like, how much power, how much intensity are you giving to those stories, to those dramas, right?
Yeah.
How much?
Yeah.
And that's a story even of our life. How much intensity are you giving it? Does it have to be that much, right?
Yeah.
It could be a little bit lighter. It could be more fun. It could be more joyful. And when you're in that space of acquiescence to the flow, to spirit, it gets richer. I think it gets more intense, but it's a different intensity.
Yeah. Well, I noticed with the cats, they're always bathing each other, playing, loving, running, leaping over each other. And sometimes one of them plays a little too hard. And then the other goes, ah! And then the first time that happened, I was like, oh, is everything okay? And they're just like, yeah, everything's okay. And so now if they're playing with me, because they're young kittens, they're always trying to figure out, Mama's more sensitive. Like, I can't go like that. They kind of test it. Can I go like that or like that? And if it's too much, I just do what they do. I go, ah! And if it's not, we just do it. So it's like nothing has to be wrong. You know, like boundaries don't have to be a big deal. It just can be like, oh, no, okay, shift gear. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, exactly. Nothing has to be wrong, but it's about you. What are you willing to, you know, for me, it's always about, okay, there's nothing wrong, but what are you allowing into your life, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like, do I want to be around somebody who's constantly toxic and negative? No, you know, right? So, you know, what is right for you? And that's on a day-by-day basis too. It's like, check in with yourself. What feels good right now? What do you require? What do you need? You know, today my husband's really negative, so I'm giving him his space.
Yeah, we can lovingly give each other space. Like I had a couple of clients, I love them both dearly, but no matter I asked, I begged, I pleaded, I suggested, I inspired, I encouraged, I wrote contracts, they still wanted to give me drama. I'm like, you got this like this person who can lift you up, give you levity, help you heal, and you want to give me drama? And finally I put them on probation. And I love them dearly. And I sent them audio so they can study, and I pray with all my heart they come back in a different space. And I'm not in judgment, all's forgiven, I'm not upset. It's just like, hey, I'm not your compost pile here. So exactly. I mentioned that because sometimes we can lovingly say, okay, and people probably have to do that to me when I get in my drama stuff. I know it's not pleasant, so I could be in either role there. Yeah. Sometimes we just need space to like recalibrate and love each other and know all is well.
Yes, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so if nobody has any pressing questions for Dr. Laurie, then maybe we can do another short little process. Okay, I know Linda said a longer one, but
okay, cool.
Don't forget, it is midnight here, Linda. Don't forget, right? It's midnight here, so it's like, I don't want to go too long.
Okay, got it. Yes. Okay, thank you for being with me in midnight and letting me do it at this later time. I'm so grateful. Everybody, breathe. We'll just pick up where we left off, or whatever comes into you is fine. Putting your feet back on the earth. Giving permission for everything from every lifetime no longer needed, connected to a story or an event that's past, to just go. Not blaming yourself or telling a story about why you created it. The whole planet created it. Let it go. You're forgiven. We're all forgiven. We study polarity, and then we make a choice. So let's choose through all our heart and soul. And it's not through willpower. Just feel the transmission coming through all of us. And I'm speaking on behalf of it. Yes, you got it. It's about you. Let it all rinse and drop. You're going into your most deepest universal self, extending into your most luscious, good feeling, delicious personal self. How yummy is that? Imperfections will happen. Don't hold yourself or anyone hostage for whatever errors we did. We erupted, we forgot, and here we are in peace. It's so simple. The animals go right back to peace. They don't even leave peace. So breathing in and out, feet on the ground. Let's fill ourselves with earth for a moment. Earth everywhere, so we stay safe in our own temple if we're empathic. Earth pouring through us. And then we feel the water. You'll feel water moving through you so that you can shift and change constantly. And the air comes in and lightens it, gives it that joy. And the fire burns what's not needed in ease. It's a light fire. It's a warmth or a coolness to make your body temperature just feel right. I read those articles and emails, and you know, it's like, yes, when I say those articles and emails that we all send out, I see them all the time. I've written them, but yes, we can have negative symptoms, but we can have positive symptoms. So let's set an intention that the clearing today gives positive symptoms. A lightness happens. If a non-preferred symptom comes, it's quickly ushered into its opposite, which it can be. Yeah, everything that doesn't feel good actually has the power to feel great, to be its opposite. Okay, so someone is having something come up in kind of in their belly, right below their ribs, like, no, it couldn't be. Okay, so if you didn't know that and you made a mistake 7,800,000 times, don't worry. I've made a mistake 9 million times, and you can still let it go right now. So just, we sometimes want to hold on because we're like, oh my God, if I don't add energy to my mistake, I'll have to see what a fool and what a waste of time. But you're not a fool. You're not a fool. It's a planetary thing. Let it all go. There you go. You don't have to judge it. Just let it. Let the organs bring in new energy. It can be, there we go. So simple. Now, embed yourself deeper into these good energies. Okay, some tightness is coming up for someone. That's okay, just breathe. You can let go, you don't need to know what it is. Okay, for someone else, it's very scary if they don't know what it is. So whatever information you need to know about it will come, and then let it all go. You're safe in your body. Your body is a temple that was programmed for delicious joy. It is possible to walk through the day and feel ecstasies in the cells. The propaganda that you're supposed to be sick and tired is propaganda. It gets to me too. And you can actually be ecstatic. And you're not right or wrong, whatever you're doing. So breathe, let go. Yes, let the negative go. Let it go, let it go. Let it be composted immediately now. Feel the energy into something that feels good. It might feel unfamiliar. You might feel a little vulnerable. That's okay. So keep breathing. And keep letting in the good. Let the universe give you everything you always asked for. Don't make up stories about why you couldn't experience it. Now you can. This is a major shift. Everything we've been asking for can be here right now. Yes. Yes. There you go. Okay, let it ripple into the muscles where the old DNA is in such minute. It's not just cell, it's not just molecule, it's not just the next division. It goes infinitely into smaller ones. There we go. People are really getting it. It's laser lighting it. You're shifting everything you are now. Any part of you that's like, I can't keep up. As we kept saying today, your heart can keep up, your soul can keep up. Now we're asking anything in your body that doesn't believe it can keep up is going to be washed and rinsed. Sometimes someone else keeps putting a thought in your body. They have a thing going on with you. We all have people we've held hostage. Let the other one's energies go. Whoever's in your body, because I do feel people are being affected by other people, I'm going to bring in the Christ consciousness. If that doesn't work for you, bring in whatever consciousness works. Bring in Shiva, bring in Shekinah, bring in Mary Magdalene, bring in Buddha, bring in Mary, bring in Kuan Yin, bring in the angels, bring in the archangels, bring in the higher power, bring in the universe, bring in the Virgin of Guadalupe, bring in Ramana, bring in Babaji, bring in Radha and Krishna. bring in everyone I didn't mention. They're all welcome. Or just bring in yourself. But let the light pierce so deeply into that point that keeps getting you, that it's turned into something physical in your body, that it can really, really be put to rest now. That all the molecules are being broken up. You're going to be a new person. You're still you, but in a new resurrected, reincarnated form. Feel that, make it simple, let it be with levity. Okay, I'm gonna release you, let it keep going, put your feet on the ground, let the energy go up into the air, move, breathe, shake as much as you want and need. I'm all for that, I do it all the time. You're beautiful as you are, release all propaganda that you're supposed to be someone different, you're supposed to be someone else, you're supposed to feel, look, or see different, you're great, we love you. Okay, now I do feel Archangel Michael wants to place these crosses, and if that's not in your belief system, just release that, but let the light, let all the light, let the Rosh Hashanah that just happened light, so many different spiritual religious paths, all awesome, atheist, all acceptable, all great, all wonderful, agnostic, beautiful, all of them. All of them, Buddhist, Hindu, Sufi, all of them are acknowledged here. Christian, Jewish, pagan, everything is acknowledged. Beautiful. Okay. We're going to go again because people are having spots that they can't let go of. So the light's going to pierce into a number of places inside you. You don't even have to choose where. Just let it occur. Just let it happen for you. There we go. Just sit in that. There, it's going to almost feel kind of snaky, like moving through little places in you that just are finally surrendering and letting in the light. That weren't wrong, just forgot, just got confused. There we go. Good, good, good. And the yearning, we're gonna implant in everyone. The yearning will be responded to. The yearning will continue this healing. When I stop and you're on your own, the healing will continue, and you can come be with me one-on-one, and we'll intensify it and finish it and work it and play it. There you go. Thank you. Namaste. Beautiful. Aloha. Shalom.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. That was, wow, so much stuff was coming through. I don't even know. What's going on with my hair? Oh my goodness. But yeah, it's continuing. It's not like it's stopped right now. It's continuing to
set an intention, everyone, that you stay in your own temple, and people are calling it sovereignty, and I love that word, but sometimes in my country people say it, and I swear to God they're saying narcissism. So but like what I mean is your temple. Let's say temple. Yeah. Set an intention, because I felt people were really open and I started taking up to astrofield stuff. So don't do that. Set an intention. You stay protected and in your temple as the day goes on. And then when this process is to close in you, it closes. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. And if that, don't get too mental about it. Just set that intention. You'll be fine. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Linda, how are you doing? How was that?
Good. It was really wonderful. Thank you so much, Laurie.
My pleasure, my honor. Thank you.
I really liked it because you were doing something, my stomach was starting to go, and it kept tightening up, and then you'd say release, and
I can feel you.
Gosh, let it go. It's driving me crazy. But no, the more you kept going, the more it started to release, and it was really good. So,
yay. Good. Yay, so delightful to be with you. Yay, yay.
Awesome. Thank you, Linda. So Natasha says, thank you. Christina, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. Probably going to have a session with you, Laurie.
Good.
I really feel like I'm being affected by somebody else's energy. Like I
got that. Yes, that was
oh my God.
In. Yeah,
it's
someone
like,
else
where
has
is this
something
coming
going
from?
on.
Yeah.
We'll get that. Yeah.
I've been trying not to blame and to say that, but I keep feeling that, and I didn't want to use that as an excuse, but Jesus,
It's
I
not an
cannot
excuse.
get over
It happens. Yeah, just forgive them. We don't need to blame them because people don't realize they're doing that. People anchor into my heart constantly until I'm like, so I have to take a shower in my own heart all the time. And so people do that with each other. It's because they think there's something safe about you. Even if the person's mad at you, they don't realize. And so just forgive them, but we'll disconnect you from them. Yeah, it's not blame. Identification is not blame. Stating what something is isn't blaming. Yeah, we're
I've
really
said that
saying
a lot
don't
lately.
tell stories, but it's okay to state what, like if you have a scrape, you can say I have a scrape, and then you know what to do about it, right? It's okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Christina. All right. I was going to mute Christina, and I muted myself for some reason. So I was looking at her, and anyway, how's everybody else doing? I think good. So I'm getting wonderful comments from people saying how much they went deeper into that process this time as well. Deeper and more peaceful and more rested, they're saying.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And and that's the thing, that when stuff comes up, it's okay. And I'm glad that you said that when stuff comes up, it doesn't have to be difficult or nasty. It can just be good. It could be a positive thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
Yes.
good. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So again, like we said, please do take a look at the special offer from Laurie. It's available at alara.at/show/Laurie10. And even each time we did that process, this is the third one, but each time we did the process, Laurie, I found that when we came out of it, my voice was a little heavier, rougher, something. So
yeah, there's a shift in the body, the vocal cords. Yeah.
There's a shifting happening. So it's like, awesome. I'm just gonna let it process through.
Yes, good. Yeah, it will reach its point.
Yes. Without going into the drama, without the why. It doesn't matter the why. The why does not matter. Let go of the why, right?
Yeah.
But instead go for the change, right, that you want. So if you would like change, for something that's happening in your life, then contact, Laurie, get the session with her, because the sessions that we have right now are really reduced from her normal rates, and she doesn't offer, these reduced rates very often. So it's something to take advantage of if you can, right now, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So is there anything else that you wanted to share with us? Any last words of wisdom for our wonderful community, Laurie?
Well, I just do want to emphasize that what I can give is coming from you. So these transmissions that occur today are a reflection of your openness and your beauty and your levity and your goodness. So it was such a beautiful, beautiful group. And I do encourage you to listen to the replay and go through these meditations again. And can you remind me when the replay is? Because I want to send out a notice, because I want a bunch of my people who missed it today to get it.
Yeah, so it'll be, in the next hour or two, because I'll still be up. In the next hour or two, it'll be on YouTube and on the podcast, and the email will go out. So I'll send you the email as well.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Yeah, so redo it, do some one-on-one work, but just I want you to thank yourself, because you make this possible. We gather together. This is a shared temple, and I learned from the cats when we got here. Some people had left some cat trees for me, and I left my cat trees with someone else. But then the cats were like, oh my God, they were freaked out. And it didn't occur to me that I know they each have their individual scent, but I didn't understand that they have a group scent. They have a group scent. So there was another group scent in our house. And they're like, they didn't know what to do. So I had to get them new cat trees. But I say that because we have a group energy. And what happens by the generousness of all of your hearts that came here today. And so I thank you with all my heart. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, and that's the thing. And it's like, we do co-create the energy, of this, call with all of us that are here now. And for those of you who are going to watch or listen later as well, your energy is also here. And so I want to thank you all too for being here.
Oh, Yes, and one other thing. I do have 2 spots left in my Lemuria for 6. It's a 5-day experience. We're going to meet in chunks of 2 hours at a time to do this kind of work together. It's going to be life-altering in February on Big Island. And there's also other optional things like meeting for a talent night, shared dinners and stuff. But if you like this, get a hold of me, because it's going to be so beautiful, and it's right in my home, which is my temple on a beautiful acre with my cats. It's just magic. I mean, we created magic here, so
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. Thank you. Good to know. Go ahead, Linda.
Lori, I love Lemuria. I got the chance to swim with the whales, the humpbacks.
Yes, wonderful.
Like the most amazing experience of my entire life.
I bet.
And
Yes.
now I can see them.
Yes.
I can still see them, and I feel like there's an attachment. Like the very first time I took a dive to go, and we were like this close.
Yes.
To the whale. And the very first time I took that dive, I'm going, oh my God, I'm scared half to death. But oh my goodness, they had such respect and such awesome quietness about them. It was like so neat. I had a girlfriend who I went with.
Yes.
And when the whales came up, they came up like this right over her head.
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you. Yeah, the dolphins and the whales vibrate such a oneness, and they love to, and they have like the memory of all time. It's such a vast thing. And then the dolphins, this bliss, and yeah, so anytime you can. I used to take people out to swim with the dolphins, and sometimes we go out on the boats to meet the whales, and yeah, they take us into their world. I'm so happy you experienced that. Yay. Yeah.
It was just unbelievable. I tell you, anybody who gets a chance to swim with you, I would take it in a heartbeat. If I had the money, I'd do it in a heartbeat. It was just phenomenal.
Yeah, there's nothing like swimming with the dolphins or whales, or being included like in a group of wild, huge ravens included me in their circle in the middle of the woods, and a group of deer, and they were playing a tag game, and the circle, like when the wild animals include you, and the dolphins and whales are doing something so otherworldly. It is. Thank you. It's amazing. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to promote you for that, because
thank you.
Anybody who gets a chance, oh my God, it's the most heartfelt thing you're ever going to feel in your whole entire. And the thing is, I think that it stays with you.
It stays with you, vibratory
like
forever.
when we left,
yeah.
all of the whales were coming up and they were flapping, like to say goodbye.
I know, isn't that's so precious? I love it. Thank you. Yeah. That is awesome. I have people who fly out to the islands to do one-on-ones with me, one-on-one intensive. So that is an option too. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Linda. And you know what? Maybe you will get the money to go and visit.
Ask for it. It can come.
Exactly. and visit Laurie in Hawaii. You know.
Yes.
Don't just automatically say if I had the money.
You. Yeah, you know? Guys. I just.
Thank you.
True.
Yeah. Thank you, Linda. Awesome. I love it. And that's the thing, is like, there's more ways for you to work with Dr. Laurie. Yes, get the one-on-one session with her. Yes, you can do the week, 4 or 5 days, whatever happens to be in February. Or if you can, do a VIP weekend with Laurie. That would be awesome. Can you imagine doing a VIP weekend in Hawaii? Oh my God.
Very incredible. Yeah. Lemuria is here. Dolphins are here. Whales are here as part of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So awesome. I love that. I might, I will think on it as well. So I'm not saying,
so cool.
Linda, I'm not saying if I had the money, it's like, let me play with it. Let me see what my schedule is like. Let me see if that's something that's, I haven't done my calendar yet for 2020, but it's on the horizon. But thank you for that.
That would be amazing.
I had no idea you were doing that. So that's, it's like, that would be awesome. All right. I'm glad you shared that with us, Laurie, and thank you, Linda, for sharing that too. Because I've always wanted to go to Hawaii, swim with the dolphins, see the whales, just be in their presence. That energy is just like, oh my God, right? So you're just birthing something in me right now, a new desire. So
February is often a good time for the whales here. So it would be a good time to come to the 5-day, but also set up time before or after to be with the whales. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But just tune into them before, because I got to tell us a few. Can I tell a couple more stories? Do we have a few more minutes? Speaking of manifestation in whales, here's 2 wonderful stories that are good stories. They're true. The thing about stories is they also support us, uplift us. Like you were saying, we just want to choose which stories we share.
Yeah.
But what happened to me was I had prayed, this is decades ago, before I wrote the book. I've written lots of books. The Cat's Reincarnation, Unconditional Trust and Love. I think it's now called The Cat's Reincarnation, Transformative Stories with Animals. But before I wrote that book, I had prayed to the animals to just be my teachers. And right after that prayer, that whole summer, I had visits all the time. That was when those deers were visiting all the time. I had hawk friends, raven friends, hummingbirds who would meditate with us in the morning. Birds came into the seminar room. I remember one time at the end of a seminar, a dog walked in right when we started, and I said, oh, because I couldn't figure out, the dog didn't seem to be with someone.
Uh-oh. Hello? Am I still here? Okay. Anybody else here, or is it just me that's suddenly gone? Hello? I think I've